Hello, welcome to the European Open Briefing for Friday, June 23rd. I'm Rafi Boyadjian, currency analyst at xm.com, and we're going to be looking at what's happening in the currency markets today. So it is the end of the week, and the dollar hasn't been able to match its strong start it had on Monday and early on Tuesday. It sets to end the week lower. It's basically on track to and the fourth day down against the Japanese yen, and it's mainly due to the lack of fresh incentives to make new bets against the dollar in the absence of any significant data or any fresh political developments. The euro, though, had a strong start to the day this morning ahead of the Eurozone PMI data that's due out shortly. We already had German and French PMI numbers, which were mostly mixed, though on the whole it looks like we're still seeing strong growth throughout the Eurozone. The pound is also doing well. We had another MPC member, Christine Forbes, calling for a rate hike by the Bank of England. And in commodities, oil has managed to stabilize. It is a little bit firmer this morning, and that has helped commodity currencies, mainly the Canadian dollar, which got an additional boost from strong data out of Canada yesterday. But let's start with the dollar. We can see here in the chart that it's down slightly against the yen, but the dollar index is down much more steeply, and that's mainly due to other currencies doing better against the dollar this morning, mainly the euro, the pound, and the loonie. We did have, although weekly jobless claims did rise yesterday, we saw in the yesterday's initial jobless claims numbers, it was still close to the recent low levels we've been seeing, pointing to a very strong job market in the US. We also had an increase in house prices in the United States. So overall, the data yesterday was fairly good, but investors are choosing to wait for next week's more significant data, where we're going to get durable goods, revised GDP, and personal consumption, and the PCE price index. Also to watch out for is the healthcare bill has now moved on to the US Senate. The Republicans in the Senate have published a revised bill. We will wait to see whether or not that's going to get approved, and again, that would probably affect the dollar if it doesn't get approved, as it would point to what could potentially happen to the tax reforms. Moving on to the euro, it got close to once again reaching the $1.12 level. We had French and German PMIs released. The manufacturing PMIs for both countries beat expectations, but the services PMIs disappointed. We also had revised GDP figures out of France, where we saw first quarter growth revised higher from 0.4 to 0.5% in the first quarter. The euro has been consolidating in recent days, but it has perked up this morning, but it doesn't look like it's going to be climbing out of its range at any point soon. Moving on to the pound now, because the pound did have a rather more volatile week. That's mainly due to contradicting remarks by Bank of England officials. On last week, we of course had the Bank of England policy meeting, where there was a surprise split vote, and that boosted the pound. On Tuesday, we had very dovish comments by the governor, Mark Carney, and we saw that big drop in the pound early in the week, and that was followed, however, by more hawkish remarks, first by the chief economist Andy Haldane, and yesterday by Christine Forbes. Although Christine Forbes is set to leave the bank in a few weeks' time, it doesn't look like she's not the only member that is becoming concerned about higher inflation rates in the UK. So that the possibility that we could see a Bank of England rate hike at a later point this year is supporting the pound at the moment, which is currently trading at around 1.2730. We also had the EU summit yesterday, where Theresa May offered offered the EU citizens already in the UK a right to stay in the UK permanently, and that was mostly well received by other EU members, suggesting that so far the Brexit negotiations are off to a positive start. Let's have a quick look at oil and the Canadian loonie, which is, of course, closely related to oil performance. The oil has managed to rebound just modestly from multi-month lows. The US crude hit a 10-month low on Wednesday. It briefly rose about $43 a barrel yesterday. It's slightly down this morning. It does appear that the higher output from countries such as the US and other nations is undermining